Antiques on York in Rockville, Indiana, 100 West York Street, celebrating our 10th year in business.
Well, I have 6:31. Let's go ahead and call the meeting to order. You have claims for us to look at.
Not very many, so.
Well, bless you.
Wait till next.
Yeah.
Gosh, Kathy, don't have much on here.
Because I wanted to put stuff on the new year.
I know, just like.
So I have a pile over there right now.
Yeah, you don't catch the mustard, it's cool. No, thanks.
River almost made it out to the trailer over there.
Hey, did you write 2 checks to the water? That one was $5,000, $1,500. I forgot to raise them. I was like, oh, darn it. Well, first I was going to just do the 5. I thought, well, no, that's not really fair because we did do the rate increase and put that on there, so.
At night, it's like neon. Oh, it's weird that. It does flash too, but Nikki said it messes with his eyesight. So I'm like, I can do that. I can do that. But if you leave it on,
You gonna send them?
it's solid.
Oh, yeah. I'm not, I had to forget today. I've been off too many days. So it's like, I think it's Sunday. So it's like, you got a town board meeting.
Friday was the.
I signed it Wednesday.
In December. I was reading it there, so where it's going.
Oh, okay. You need to-
No, that's fine.
Most of the batch, but we didn't.
Kind of bogus, some of it.
And I don't know, the audit level credit office, she was on my one, because she was having, some kind of, everything kind of stuff on here, and it was not happening. So I didn't get.
Oh, yeah, what about the OT?
It's letting him know.
Oh, yeah, it was.
You want him to put it?
Yeah, go ahead, put it in there.
And she didn't come back by 4. And it was just 2 people, Pam and some other guy. So I'm like, well, I'm staying, I can do a few things and, find some stuff. So I did it. And about 20 minutes, she phone called me. She was ready to
Paragraph about Brady, that's what I was hoping that one would do.
call. She did. So she got me printed out 2 checks. And was fine. So then today, I was, scared to death to do that.
This is the minutes from the last meeting.
Oh, I got this. I don't know if you want to fill it out or it needs to be filled out, or I'm not sure who, I haven't done anything to it. This wasn't, Steve Brock was the one that did our rate structure. Or is that
Yeah.
Michael at? No, Steve Brock did it first.
I don't think we, I don't think any of that's applicable.
That's what I was
We
wondering.
don't, I don't think we've dealt with it, period.
So,
I don't think we can do any.
I'll just put NA and mail it.
Yeah. business. Talked to Nick this evening, he wasn't able to be here, but he will have the 2 new ordinances that we talked about last meeting, and he'll go over those again with us, and after he's made those changes that we requested that he make. And he also is working on the easement for the parking that we talked about.
Okay.
So that should be here in February. We've had a water leak that showed up on the south side of 236, just west of the firehouse, and Kathy got a hold of UMAC, and they came and verified that it was drinking water because of the chlorine, and so they have come and fixed it. Water had been collecting there for a little while, a few weeks, and we couldn't figure out where it was coming from. But there's a line that goes from the firehouse drive west down to that first.
Yeah, I saw what he's digging at down there.
Okay.
So it's been repaired and
It
we're
goes
in
to
good
both of those
shape.
houses, Larry said.
Excuse me?
Larry said it goes to both of those houses,
Okay.
because I mentioned it to him yesterday.
It just feeds those 2 houses?
He said they replaced a lot of pipe through there. So he asked me how much, and I did Senior talk to you after you got it done to see how big the leak was or anything? Or how bad?
Yeah, I stopped by when they were getting ready to cover it up. Yeah. It was a big leak. I mean,
I
as
say,
far as,
because usage really didn't show a
Yeah.
lot, that's why I was surprised for the amount of water that was standing there.
yeah.
But he said they had to swap out quite a bit down through there. So he wondered if something was already previously done, or if this is somewhere new.
That line was extended back when, remember Louis Stark?
Oh,
Lived there. Mom and Dad bought that house off of them, and then they were on a well. So the town ran water down that way. Probably David Brown would have been the person that would have ran it. But that line, I didn't know if it went to both houses or not. but
That's probably before David
does.
Brown, wasn't it?
Huh?
That's probably before David Brown, wasn't it?
If it was probably the gentleman that did it from Waveland. Phillips.
Might have been Phillips, or it could have been J.C. Russell.
It wasn't as far back as J.C.
Okay.
I know that. But it's been in the ground a long time. It's a thinner walled plastic, not like the heavy wall that UMAC puts in. But it's only like a 1-inch line. It's not a very big line, but it only does those 2 houses. If you remember back several months ago, maybe as much as a year ago, we had water showing back behind Samantha Rice's place.
Right.
And we couldn't figure it out. Kathy and I tested it, and we saw some chlorine and just very little residual chlorine. And UMAC tested it for us later, said they didn't find any chlorine. They thought it was just a drain line, which didn't make a whole lot of sense because it was during a time that had been very, very dry. Well, now I'm wondering whether this line has been leaking slowly. It's probably maybe 20 yards from that drain that runs down the right of way of the railroad, the old railroad bed. Wondering if that's what it is. I mean, we can take a look and see later on. So you may notice a change in your water usage with that. I don't think it was a heavy leak until just the last
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
few days. It
Last-
finally just cut loose. But anyway, that's been repaired, and we'll take a look at that here in the future and see if your numbers look better from that. So that has been repaired, and we're in good shape there. I did get good news from talking to Clint Engel, the Washington Township trustee. They have allocated money for the park
Okay.
for this 2024. So the caveat is we would submit those bills or submit whoever's doing the work, the quote to him, and then they'll pay it out of his budget, his township budget. So we do have the ability now to do some improvements, and Dale and I talked before the meeting, some things that probably need to be done, and we've mentioned that here in the last few months with the baseball season going to kick off. And,
Yeah.
I don't remember, I think Nick said that he had received the grant money from Community Foundation. Had we talked about that?
He was applying. I don't know if he did
Okay,
get
it has come in, and Kathy has that, and we'll be, after talking to Nick, he said just put it in the park fund, and then we'll write a check into the youth association.
Later.
Yeah,
Okay.
later. He just wanted to make sure the funding
Okay.
that can go in and out. So that money will be there for the lighting, light poles, et cetera. And then he's got another check coming to you.
He had a Newport check, but I don't know what he ended up doing with that, because he wanted me to deposit it, but he may still have that.
He may,
Because I had gotten it and give it to him, and then he was gonna give it back to me, and he never has.
I think that there was a meeting, the community foundation had monies that was distributed, and Brad Craycraft,
Oh,
Yes,
chosen.
yes, he
Yes, he
did
did.
something.
He
and
was
Brad has
donating
donated
it.
that, or
Right.
moved that money back, and it'll come to the youth association, so it'll come into that same
Oh,
fund
okay,
for those, the lighting and improvements.
okay.
And I know Dale and I talked this evening about the possibility of bleachers, and he's done some research on it, and so that's something for us to look at. I think
I think that would be nice.
it would be nice to have over there, as well as repairs to the concession
I was
stand.
gonna ask that one,
Yeah.
okay. I think that would be good, before it gets back.
So I think, take a look at that, and whatever you think that we might look at doing, and
I
we
think
can get some
basically
quotes.
just probably fixing the outside. I mean,
Or an accession stand?
huh?
Yeah. Yeah, there's a couple of options you can do on that. I talked about cutting off some iron, vertical metal. Kevin came up with the idea, we just put metal all the way down. Don't have to paint it or anything.
Yeah, we don't have to worry about, like now, it kind of gets rotted,
Yeah.
painted, stained.
So if we would, as Dale said, pull those battens off and then put
The
metal right on it, that would take care of that building for many, many years to come.
Last in my lifetime. I gotta look at that, still, last in my lifetime.
So that's something to look at, and I think something we probably will want to pursue in the next 90 days to get some quotes and do some calculations on that.
Did he say what he had budgeted to give us an idea?
Yes, $3,000 was the budget.
Okay. So that we have an idea on what to spend.
Those are the things I have on old business. Does the board have anything else under old business? Under new business, January is election of officers night, so I would like to do that here at the beginning of the new business session. So at this point, we'll take nomination of volunteers for the position of president of the town board.
I kinda like them the way they are.
I nominate Kevin for
Yep.
president. Let's continue.
Very good. We're set for that.
Any other nominations? All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Vice president, I think Darla has been serving that position,
She's doing a good job.
and I would second that nomination.
There you go.
So all those in favor say aye.
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 Thank
Opposed? Okay, thank you. I've got two quotes here I asked for a quote from Brian Nelson. One is to tear down the old well house, pump house up and going up in the new addition. He took a look at it. He's given me a quote to take that whole pump house down, clean up everything that he can. He can't take the pipes out of the ground. That's going to be a UMAC
Okay.
call, and then haul off all of it. So here's the quote on that for $950 to do all of that. So all the block, all the roof, all the,
That's a lot of block.
yeah.
That's what I was thinking, that's a lot of stuff to haul off.
Yes, it is.
I don't see that being too bad of a price.
I would,
It's just hauling, it's just the dump of that stuff is kind of expensive.
yeah. Take a motion then, if you care.
I'll make a motion that we accept this. I think that's more than fair.
I do
Okay.
too. I second the motion.
Motion's been made and seconded to have Brian Nelson go ahead and do that cleanup and haul all that away. With the follow-up with UMAC, I would like for them to go ahead and dig down and permanently cut the line that goes from the main to that pump house and cap that, so we never have to worry about any of the valves or anything.
So our existing main right now is still tied to that old pump house?
It is.
Or is that the old main is tied to it?
Well, there's two lines. There's actually one coming in from the west
Well, that's
that went
what I
from the
thought.
Engle pump house.
Right.
That actually has been cut off down in the field several years ago, but the line is still connected to the pump house, but not to the line that goes to the well house. And then there's from the well house over to the edge of the road, there's a section with a valve, and that has, that's connected to the main that goes to the new addition. So that's where I would like for you, Matt, to cut that, take the valve out, and go ahead and cap that, so we have nothing's
Nothing's tied to it.
tied to it at all. And that would be down the road, you know, when you Matt can get to that.
Okay. I have a question on that well house. Did we own that property, that well house, that's on,
I would,
that little square?
I think so.
I would think so, I don't know.
I don't think so.
I know the Engle property, the well house there, was leased
Right.
from the Ingles. But that well house and the pump, the wells that were under the old water tower and then south of town are all on, town ground.
Well, the
Because you
reason I
could
was
use
asking.
that GF, that map to kind of see where it is. I mean, if you click on it, it shows
Yeah,
Marshall,
we could
just
do
that
that.
little square.
I never looked, so yeah.
Well, the reason I asked that was I see Tidwell's got their fence or usually back that building as part of their fence.
Yeah.
The reason I was asking that. So,
Yeah. There's a lot, because it don't look like that there was an alley or something back there.
It may
Where
be-
their stuff is.
I think there may be an alley that goes back.
That's what I was
Yes,
thinking.
It's all an alley back there, and
That's
their
why I was
stuff,
asking
everybody's
that.
stuff is kind of like right there on it.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't look like it was ever leased, titled over to any of those
Right.
owners.
But if they're mowing it, that's wonderful.
Yeah.
well, I agree.
Well, you don't have to have it totally, I mean, they can mow, but I mean, the
Yeah.
town can still just.
So if Brian gets that all tore down, leaves it, and I've looked in there, the pipes come up, stuff like
Yeah.
that, and the concrete, down to what he cannot do, then UMAC gets there and cuts it all off. They're gonna take the rest of that out right there.
Everything out, clean that ground up so
Okay,
it's.
that's what I want out of it.
Yes.
Okay.
Right now, there's a valve between the main that goes north into the addition and the pump house. I double checked to make sure that valve was off. On the other side, I want to make sure that nothing was leaking through.
Going the other way, yeah.
And both of those valves are off. The valves are off in that old pump house. So we're pretty secure there, but I think if we sever that, we'll be much better off.
And
And
that
then,
building, that building's in terrible shape. I mean, if the roof blew off, it's not gonna freeze it, we got it melted off. It's terrible.
so I will get with him on that.
Okay.
I also asked him to give me a quote, a building back behind the tower, the big silver building.
Oh, the long building.
Yeah, the north end, which has been used for storage forever and ever. It was insulated way back when, I know the fire department used it for the tanker, back when we used the little firehouse. And all of that insulation, everything is coming down in there. It's a mess in there. right
It is a
now.
mess.
Nothing we-
I've seen that.
Yeah, so I said, go ahead and look at that and give me another quote for cleaning that building out, that part, that bay. And so he has done that. There's a couple things for the fire department in there, and I know we're storing the soldiers in there. But there's just stuff in there that needs to be thrown away
Yeah.
and cleaned up. So that's what this quote is from Brian, hoping that he could do that at the same time.
Not too bad either, because I know I've been in there, it's a mess. Is there any way to maybe put gravel or something, there's a little bit of gravel in there, kind of clean it?
There's concrete floor in there.
It's concrete?
Yeah, it is.
So could you put a regular, see about investing in a garage door, so that way it would actually open? And that way you could end up and secure maybe the tractor, and you could
Yeah.
alleviate some stuff.
Yeah, we could. That's what I was
Because I look
thinking.
at the-
UMAC stores piping and things in there.
That's all he wants.
Yeah. If he does it with this other job, I think he'll combine all that and that. Knowing him, it'll take 2 hours, it'll take most people a day and a half.
I still think that's reasonable.
I do too, that's what I was,
Because
here's
I've
what you
looked
have
at
to
it.
So to have a motion
I
that we
do.
accept that?
I'll make a motion, we accept this.
I'll second the
A
motion.
motion accepted, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed? And that dollar amount was?
350.
This is 350.
No, because I think if we can utilize that for some of the storage, and then, that way if Kathy needs to walk to the backs of the garage area, she could without her or anybody,
Well,
without
that's
hurting
what
themselves.
put the car in there if we want to bring it back too.
Yeah.
Get that tractor out of there. We gotta get that garage cleaned up. Our garage is in there cleaned up with
I
all the
know.
water stuff. And
Right, yeah.
so that would be next on.
There's some of that stuff can go out to there, the storage,
Right, that's what I was
signposts and things of that kind can go out there. Let me see. The lead line survey, the one that we talked about.
Oh, yeah.
With Tom. I put the call in to Dylan Lamont at Westler. And I said, Dylan, can you give me a quote on what it's gonna cost to have you guys to help us with that? And he said, their company will do it for nothing. So we got an opportunity to have an engineering company step in and help us fill out that paperwork. I mean, it's a no-brainer to me. As far as all of the tests and things, we'll have to work somewhat hand in hand with those. But he said it wouldn't be any problem for them to do that. We have.
Oh, wait a minute, for
End of
them
the
to
year.
do what? To the paperwork? Because the paperwork's online for us through.
They'll do,
the
he said
120.
we will do it, and I just assumed he meant the paperwork, but the testing and all, we'll have to figure out whether they're gonna come or they will have us do the samples.
Now, see, I took it, the paperwork wasn't all that much because they got the form online that I just gotta put the numbers in. So if I'm gonna have to give them all, then, I mean,
I don't know that, but I think we take advantage of that and then we'll work out the details with that, whether or not we'll do actually pulling samples or not.
oh, that, yeah, I know, yeah, well, the sample, you're gonna have to have each individual house inspected first.
They seem to have a better understanding of the whole thing than I do, because when I talked to him about it, it was not that big a deal for us. So they're doing it for other communities.
Would there be a way for Dylan to kind of talk to Kathy and Tom and you
Oh, I'm sure.
together?
I'm sure.
And then that way they can know
Yeah.
kind of what the process and understand, because
Yeah.
if they've already done some of the work.
Because I
And
talked to
that
Ronnie
way they know what
Senior,
it's-
and he said they're gonna put eyes on every single meter of the in and the out in Rockville,
Right.
is what they're doing.
So
Because I think it'd be.
we're at a point now where we have the opportunity without
I
a charge.
agree.
I think we'd be foolish not to
I do too.
work with somebody
Yeah,
on that.
I think having you guys work with those would be, yeah,
And Tom, get Tom involved
yes.
heavily into that too. The vandalism at the park to the new sign that went up. We had one sign that was painted. It was reported, I know Officer Mitchell filed a report on that. I went up yesterday, and I couldn't remember when I ordered those signs, whether I ordered that graffiti, anti-graffiti coating or not. Well, I was able to get the paint all off, the elbow grease, so that, we don't have to replace it, so we're good to go there, so that graffiti wasn't permanent, luckily. I don't know, we haven't gotten anywhere on follow-up on that, right?
Do we have any kind of a, isn't there a way to put a camera or something over
It
there?
says you could do trail cams.
That's what I was thinking, because they end up and because I know Tyler and Justin have the trail cams that ended up and they have the satellite, so they're always looking at their phones and pictures of the deer. Because something like that would be nice.
Yeah, there's a subscription, you gotta pay for that.
I don't think it's too much, because,
No, it's like $10 a month, I think.
yeah, because they wouldn't.
How many can you put on it though? Because you got, aren't those at two different locations, or you just put them at one?
I think you can
And the
put up
bad thing
to
is, I
5
feel
to 10
like we
trail
need a more
cameras on the
concession stand than
subscription.
you do actually there.
And people
That's a long ways
stealing.
away. Yeah, that's the thing, though, you're gonna get stolen if you're not careful.
Is there a way to lock them on there though?
Yeah, but I mean, I've locked them in the woods before and I've had them stolen.
You put them up where nobody really sees.
Yeah.
That's kind of hard to do over there, that there's gonna be people around to see it. Where in the woods, you can hide them a little bit better, but.
Luckily, I've not seen anyone in that park since that vandalism. No one has ventured over there that I can tell.
Yeah, I spoke to him about it, so.
Yeah. So, I think if you want to do trail cams, we also then need to entertain some thoughts about security cameras going in some places.
I think security cameras would be better than trail cams.
Now, I don't know how logistically that works when you get too far away from it.
You gotta have Wi-Fi. But, I mean, I think it's cheaper than the trail cams.
Is your quality gonna be, because I don't know.
I mean, there's some bad ones and there's some good ones out there. It just depends on how much you spend. So, but even,
I think there's a few locations that we would like to, and I'd like to see them. I'd like to see, of course, over here at the office.
the best way to do it is just go through a company instead of, because they do it right.
So that's a thought on where we go from here. That is all I have for the new business order. Do you have anything? Okay. Brady? What do you got for us tonight?
Like I said, I talked to a couple of people about the vandalism at the park, but there's nothing yet. So,
Okay.
and then the security cameras would be nice because if you're not seeing it, because the misdemeanor witness rule can arrest for it. So,
Okay.
you gotta have a little bit of proof.
And they can watch and see if you leave and no one's around and
Yeah.
so, you know.
Do you have any contacts out there for,
Yeah, I could get security cameras.
at least we could get some kind of a quote on some areas and somebody,
You want
Okay.
two quotes, 3 quotes?
yeah, 2 or 3. Of course, there's security cameras at the firehouse, exterior and interior, so that covers,
Does the Wi-Fi go throughout the whole town?
no.
See, that's
That's what I
the
was
problem, we
wondering.
don't have any Wi-Fi, to see the Wi-Fi doesn't get into here that I use.
See, and I would like to see.
They wouldn't be live streamed then. I don't know if, I don't even know if they have security cameras anymore that just record for DVDs.
Right.
What is the fire department use? Which their picture wasn't, when they had that trailer they hit wasn't a real good clear, but what,
Well,
they have the internet there.
yeah, hey,
See, that's the problem, not the internet, over the park.
that's another thing is to look for some kind of an extender, a
They,
booster that could
they
get
do
to
make
here.
those boosters.
I know they make line of sight boosters, so if you go up on the tower and take something and shoot it at a distance, you can pick up on it.
I think you get enough boosters to cover the whole town.
Yeah.
Maybe expensive, but.
So those are
You don't have the
things
whole
we
town available for Wi-Fi though.
Well, you can lock it.
Yeah, you'd have to have security to lock.
That's what I'm saying.
But then that too would give me Wi-Fi in the car too, if I had the password. But what I have at home, there's no Wi-Fi at the house, so I got a little Wi-Fi box, and it's good. So, but that, I mean, you could put one of those in the concession stand, and it would cover the whole park area. But it's $20, $30 a month, but it's a $200 device. So.
Whereas if you ended up and you put the booster on the tower, you wouldn't have to put the box.
No.
But you wouldn't need that though. You would need the booster on the tower and then do something over there.
Well, I'm just saying that if you put it over here on the tower, you ended up, that would be cheaper than paying a monthly subscription for the box.
Yeah. It would probably be more expensive up front for the,
I would say initially.
initially, but it probably, like if you use it over time, it'd probably be cheaper for the boosters. But the Wi-Fi, I mean, it's better to have live feed cameras nowadays than it is to, because then,
Okay. Well, our Wi-Fi's all off the fiber from Bloomingdale, so we would have pretty good signal if we shoot it in different directions. I just think we ought to look at that.
Yeah.
Maybe use your help to come
Yeah.
up with that.
yeah, I've got a guy, and I know one personally, and I can find a couple more,
Okay.
so.
Well, I wonder too if Bloomingdale would end up and help give some leads. Or
Yeah,
that way you can.
I don't know if they do they do that?
I have a feeling Austin probably knows some of it, but that way you can kind of hook.
I know a guy from ADT, or whatever it is, ADT, I think it is.
Okay.
Yeah, I know a guy from the hospital because he ended up and hooked up a lot of
Mm-hmm.
Valley Professionals.
Well, even in,
Wi-Fi
I mean,
and that.
even at
Cameras.
Walmart, there's good security cameras. It's just, and then somebody on the side could hook it up.
Right.
So, and I think you probably get a good set for $400 or $500 from like a Walmart or something like that.
Okay.
But
We just need
stay-
somebody to lead us down that
Yeah.
path. I'd like to also have the arch on some kind of camera in some way.
you probably get one off the bank from there.
That's what I'm wondering.
But I think with, like I said, with Bloomingdale though, I think they could end up maybe have with the booster
Yeah.
with that. So then that way you can get the Wi-Fi.
Well, if you can look into that and then maybe report back to us on
Yeah.
how that would work and what.
Yeah.
what kind
I'll have to do
cost.
some research on what ones require what, because it's probably better to do one without a monthly
Yeah.
subscription.
Yeah,
So,
okay.
Which you would just mainly for the park, because we could use the Wi-Fi from my office to go towards
Yeah, but we
ours.
need some way to get Wi-Fi into here,
Yeah.
at which you can do that. They can put an extender in it.
So-
Do that. So we wouldn't have to go to the park, we just would get to here.
No, I meant to the park for the security over there. I thought you was more concerned here than putting security here.
Well, I'd like to have it both places.
So you want it inside here?
I don't know whether we need
Or
it
is that
inside
invasion of
or.
privacy, so to speak?
No, it's a public building, it's not, no invasion.
Just use the neighbors next door.
Yeah.
See if they'll give us the.
Well, the other thing is, something that Sharon Harmon has asked me for probably a year and a half is actual usable Wi-Fi here.
Well,
for
yeah.
guests.
Right.
And I think that would be nice to have.
But majority of people nowadays have their own, if you
On
really.
your devices.
I never hooked up to public Wi-Fi anywhere. Of course, I have unlimited data to begin with, because I have to for what I do for the town, for starters. But, I mean, you're hooked up to public Wi-Fi, you're asking for trouble if you're not careful. So a lot of people don't hook up to public
That's why we
Wi-Fi.
need, find out some information from the people who do that service and what they're,
But that's what I say though, if you're getting public Wi-Fi out here though, you got these people that's coming to it, you're just all feeding into one feed.
You have to have another, you ended up, you have to have a secure, you basically set up two different types of logins. You have a guest login, which only allows this stuff here to be able to be seen. And then you have the network itself where it doesn't allow, it's only the administrators can log in, like people. in the
Be some
town.
type of secure log.
do you want me to contact the
Yeah,
Wi-Fi
I have, I
company
mean,
too?
like I have private over at
Do you want
my
me to
office.
contact the
Well,
Wi-Fi
Dollar said you
company?
can make this happen two ways, is what I'm saying. You have
Yeah,
the guest-
it'd be good to
But
ask
you wouldn't need it
Bloomingdale.
right
Yeah.
here.
They're here, Joint is in.
Marshall
You would
has-
end up
the
having
firehouse
it
has
as a-
Bloomingdale,
You would
right?
have a
Yeah,
Wi-Fi for them
firehouse.
to be able to
Yeah, so
use
it's-
the Wi-Fi as a guest. They
Because there's
sign
fiber
in as a
already
guest
ran all
here.
throughout there.
Yeah.
Only.
Only, but
There,
if you
not
go to the
throughout town.
hospital,
Yeah.
you can sign in as a guest.
And how far does that go? Because what's gonna keep people from sitting out front and using the Wi-Fi?
Well, that's just it. You wouldn't be able to control that part.
You don't actually have to extend your Wi-Fi with that strong signal.
But
You
they
could
could-
say, once you leave those doors, it's so weak you can't pick it up.
And you
don't
can
get-
change the password after every event. You can give, if somebody's having an event, you can give them a Wi-Fi password, and then after that day, change it, and then you can't get in again.
Because like you said, it's like you're thinking, I know what you're thinking, because yeah, if you ended up and had the guest and everybody had the password, then anybody can be in town and you'd see them just out here sitting using the Wi-Fi.
Let's just look at it and see what we might come up with.
Okay.
All right. Anything else as far as issues in town that you've dealt with here?
There's been some traffic issues heading into town off 236, but I've been trying to take care of that a little bit.
Okay.
There's been some people running pretty hot, so.
Okay.
And then I think I did talk to that dude next door and let him know on what he had to do with the court dates and stuff. So,
Okay.
and then Nick's got the rest of them. He's filed all those. So
Did you pass the one on with the sign, the report? Did that go to Nick or not? Because he didn't have it. I didn't know. Oh, you're.
no, I sent it. I printed 2 copies out, one for me and then one for her, for you guys for the town.
Yeah, but did you want that to go to Nick or is that something?
it-
Is there any reason to?
No,
Okay. It's just a report.
it's just a report right now.
I
so-
sent him a copy of that, just so he had it in his
Yeah.
files.
Okay.
Which, I mean, actually, Yeah, you could probably send it to him because they'll go good for that ordinance violation, so.
I've started the whole file for him.
Yeah.
I've sent him,
Yeah,
So,
okay.
that way he's got everything.
yeah. And the CAD's down right now at Parke County.
Again?
Yeah, so that's why that report was done on that paper instead
I
of the
wondered
CAD
that, but I
system.
thought, okay.
Yeah, it's been down for a long time.
Any issues with your gear, your car, anything?
Nope, everything's going good.
Okay.
I need another oil change. I need to take it and do that.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, stay up on that.
yeah. So
Good
tires
one.
are good. Everything else is good.
Okay.
So,
Kevin?
Here's our monthly water adjustments that I have done. The top one, I forgot to make her inactive in the system, so it billed her. Well, since then, she has contacted me when the water turned back on, so I had to reactivate her, and I charged her the turn-on fee.
Okay.
So, and she hasn't contacted me telling me the house was sold, so I'm gonna get in touch with her. There's other meetings, I sent them to Tom when they would come, so I sent them to him, but considering we had that leak, we're still not bad.
Yeah. So really, we're only up about 8,000.
Yeah. Take one, pass it around. So, you need to decide if this is what you guys want to do for salary discussion for 2024. If so, we can go ahead and plug that in tonight. So we've got it.
Do you have a feel for how much we spend on subcontract work with the water department? I'm just curious.
It's under $600, I'm pretty sure, on both. Because I keep those two separate. I haven't totaled everything, but I was looking at it here not too long ago, and we've not done that much since then. And we've never paid anybody any mileage, so.
Mhm. Yeah. And that is the same as last year, right?
Yes.
Okay.
The only thing I thought of is the possibility of maybe seeing what takes place on the lead, and maybe Tom and I keeping extra hours on that lead inventory and then paying us something if we get into a lot of time, and especially Tom, depending on what's going on.
Okay.
But,
Hopefully Westler will step up and do all of it.
but we'll have to, I mean, yeah, we'll have to get a lot of stuff together for him too and stuff, so.
Okay.
But I'm sure I'll have work hand in hand with him to get all the names and addresses and get that all correlated together, so we're all on the same page. But, so,
Yeah, just no one has walked through that door yet to know how much work's to be done.
right. That's like
It's
the
just-
senior was saying, yeah.
Just such an unknown.
Well, and I'm too wondering if they end up in there, are they gonna, surely there'll be some kind of whatever the cost of this, the government will give some kind of money back.
You would think so.
That's like Senior said, they're supposed to, but who knows what, who knows when.
Yeah.
And that's what they've said in all those videos so far, is there's supposed to be money, but nobody knows the dollar amount.
I think when we get into this, my recommendation is that you and Tom would keep track on hours above and beyond, because it is an added workload to
Right.
your job description.
Right.
Yeah. And then
Go
we'll
from
know,
there.
yeah, we'll know from there. Plus, I don't know, would we have to ask for that money to be drawn down based on hours or not?
And that might be too, that they're still trying to figure that out too.
Okay.
So, okay.
Any changes on this? Good with that, for this past year?
Subcontract work, that was
What'd you say?
The subcontract work, like,
It's basically Kenny and Jason that go and do my water stuff for me, or like, when they go water the flowers out here, they get paid, and so it's really,
I didn't think anybody would work for that, he's what was saying that.
and if they work a half hour, I give them an hour.
Yeah.
You know, that's the thing.
You just round it up.
Yeah, I just round it up, I don't, because it's taking them time to go do it, and,
Oh.
and sometimes if he's out there changing out 5 or 6 meters, then he'll just go by the hour instead of per meter. Because per meter, that would really hurt us. And he's good about that. We can up it if you want to.
Minimum wage all of a sudden in these other states have went
I
up.
was looking at it, you go far handles for $15 an hour, that was $20 an hour.
That's
the
it.
other thing is on the shut-offs, a shut-off could take 10 minutes
Right,
for that amount of money. So there is kind of a give and take there when you look at that. A turn on and a shut-off is open the lid.
Yeah.
You could run into some
So there's
situations.
times we
that
can end up
take
and do a shut off at 25, but if they end up and
Yeah.
overextend time because maybe something else runs into it, then it's considered, you can
We
do
just
the
kind of work it out.
Work it out with the
Yeah, it depends on
subcontractor
what
at
I'm having doing, and,
it. Right. Depends on what the job situation
and
They're
there's
good.
times I send him out to check a bunch of meters. If he's off the day I read meters, I may send him out and he'll check 5, 6, 7 meters because I didn't like the readings on them. And so he'll go do that, and
Because, yeah, I'm kind of wondering if we shouldn't round that up just a little bit, but is that?
Possibly, I would like to see numbers on how many hours are we talking that fall into that category.
well, I heard you ask that question a minute ago. You know,
and see, I don't actually keep them separate on how many I pay out. I'd have to go back through and pull all the things I'm paying.
Mhm.
Because then I put down if he's shut off, or how many he swapped out meters for so many hours, or that's all itemized out. But it's all together less than $595, because I'm sure I'm not gonna issue him a 1099.
Yeah.
That's true. Yeah.
Because we've been pretty fortunate, we haven't had a lot of stuff going on. And if it's anything major, we can hold Brian to go to. If it's anything major, fix it.
Probably get Kenny doing that, doesn't have a seat attached to it.
I really don't think that this is an issue. It's never been
I was
voiced
gonna
to me.
say, if it's
from
not
either
been
one of them.
voiced, then okay. Good.
So
That's-
I think we're all right because of the offset on the shut-off cost.
Right.
Right, and going ahead and doing the rounding just kind of helps even it out, so, okay. As long as you've not heard any complaints, then I'm
As
fine.
long as everybody's happy, I mean, I guess it's
Yeah.
okay, you know. so.
Mine too.
It's just like you round up to an hour, you know, I mean, make it worth their while, you know.
Right.
And a lot of times he's taking one of his girls with him down and having them do it,
Yeah,
so.
Okay, we're good.
We're good.
we're good.
What else, Kathy?
We have talked about the meters on the north end of town, the one that's in the basement.
Mhm.
And then I have one on the east end of town that it's caved in and full of mud and needs to be all dug out and everything. I talked to Ronnie today, and he said it'd be about $2,000 a piece to get those corrected.
Each or for both?
No, each. So $4,000. I really feel we're setting pretty good right now on money. I really feel that we need to get those both done and get on the works. Because the one on the north end, I can shut it off. And I really need to prove a point. There's a reason you get a monthly bill. And so I have no control over that. When you're up to $400, yeah, you can go knock on the door, but you've got to catch them at home. You've got to get someone to go knock on the door then, and whenever they're there. But if I get that meter moved out there, we can go shut it off, and we know if there's a leak, and then on the west end, we need to get that. That's been a while, or on the east end, that's been a while, so I'm not getting an actual good reading there. So I'd like to get him on the books and get both of those done.
I have no problem with that, being early in the year, and we know that we can,
And that pretty much take care of everything that I'm aware of right now, that I'm getting all readings on just about everything. I don't know of anything that I'm not. We still need to locate the one down here now that we've lost, we can't find. And maybe you could do that when he's in town one day, take a look and see if you can locate that one.
Oh, we got one that's down on the south side that we
No,
can't.
it's down here.
it's outside the sidewalk.
So, yeah.
Tom's live, we don't know where the meter pit is, we're assuming it's either driven over enough to push down, or the stone is
It's not
keeping us
locating
from.
at all.
The
Okay.
the metal detector's not picking it up, which is really odd.
And we've looked where we've been told to look. And so I'll put that on my notes too.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm okay with that, or we're okay with getting you back in.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And then, when someone passes away in town, as long as the spouse has been living there, I've left it alone if it's in the husband's name. That goes with the flow. But we've had some people pass away recently, and I can't get them to switch the names. I've written a letter asking them that we need to get it in the name of whoever's living in the house, because I have no one to go to that's responsible for that. And one of them is fairly recently, I'm gonna give them another month or so before I say much more. But the other one, it's been long enough that there's no reason that they can't be filling out paperwork.
A question for Nick to see what you kind of do legally, because I would think you should be able to switch them off. I mean, if the person that's owned it
That's my thing.
is deceased and nobody's taken possession, then
There's someone living there and has been living there the whole time,
It's not husband and wife.
but it's not husband and wife.
well, but it's not. But
So
they're
I
not
have no
moving
one-
anything over in their name anymore, so
Right.
they really can't legally
Right, I
be
have no one
paying.
that's responsible for that because they're both deceased and the people that own the house are gone.
Right, so it's like, I wonder if you shouldn't follow up with Nick to see what our legal
idea.
guidelines are.
See, that's what I wanted to ask him tonight, but I've sent him the one especially, I've sent 2 letters. And I was gonna see, they haven't paid yet this month, so I was gonna ask again, and that's why I wanted to see if I could say, no, this is not in someone's name by such and such date, it's going to have to be turned off.
But the bill's being paid though. That's a question.
And that's just leaving an open gap where they could end up in at any time not making payments and then,
It's never paid in full, no,
and you're not gonna be able to take them to court because they don't own it.
they don't own it.
We don't think. They don't have to be married to have it in both names.
It's not a boyfriend-girlfriend thing either, it's kids.
Did you look to see whose name it's in, like on GIS?
It was in the husband or wife's name. I think it's in the wife's name.
And she's passed?
And the husband passed a long time ago.
And have they done like a deed or anything?
Not that I'm aware of.
You can call up there to the auditor's office and we can look to see if it's been changed.
So,
GIS will show that a lot of times.
and that's the last time I looked, I think it still had their names on
Okay.
it.
I
Well,
would-
it is.
Why don't you run that by Nick,
Okay.
that we have that, and see, it may be a letter from him that,
And that's
Oh,
what,
yeah.
that could be then too.
okay.
And the other one may still be in probation stuff, but I just want to get a name on
Well, if the estate's in probate,
See, and she wouldn't talk to me to tell me anything anyway, so.
Okay.
Well, that'd be something to his office. One of his staff could end up and look up just to see, to verify.
Right. Yeah.
And I know when she was here in town before, I had trouble getting my bill paid.
Okay.
So I don't want to get too carried away with that either.
Okay.
So that's why, you know, they've normally been pretty good. But yeah, I like, now we're getting, especially the ones in a good while.
You know, we've set that upper limit, but you can call for a shut-off if that bill exceeds X amount.
True.
So you could, I don't want to say you could use that, but that is something that we do normally, and they shouldn't be treated any different. Now, somebody passed away last month, I understand.
Right,
we're giving
right,
grace,
right.
Okay.
So, okay, I'll see what he says about ownership and
Okay.
getting it, if we're thinking right, to get it in someone's name that's,
I would think it legally would have to be in somebody's
Yeah.
name.
well, I was surprised they haven't done something at the house too, to get, you know, something permanent there too.
Okay.
So, and that's, all I think, I don't have any monthly stuff done yet, because I'm gonna get it all done for year end.
Okay.
So I'll have that for February's meeting.
You have anything for us tonight?
Oh, no.
She just listened.
I'm just listening.
Okay. Board have anything else?
I don't.
Great. All right. Stand adjourned. Thank you.